Everything in orders, operator? Is that a pun? I will attempt to bypass this fault.
It actually worked this time.
Operator, you have remembered well how the Tenno arm themselves.
Welcome to the stream.
Sub 79.
Welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by, Marcus. I appreciate you stopping by.
You can call me War Mystery, it's my Twitch name.
Okay, Marcus. War Mastery? That's an interesting name. That's an interesting name you have there. I'll try this for a mission.
I do live streams on weekends.
Alright, that's an interesting thing. Hopefully I can find somebody and this goes well. It would be kind of bad if you have a ability that works for teammates and you don't have no teammates. That's great.
What a waste. from my scrap trough, and this is how you repay me? Unacceptable.
Yeah, that's it.
My siphon! My Kuba! You're messing up all my plans. I don't like it. Not one bit.
You've destroyed the Queen's Kuba siphon. Can't allow any of these to survive. Robots inbound.
I'm pretty sure it was like 100 something. I must have hit the wrong one. Oh well. But I thought it said like 180 to 100 in there.
For the Lotus.
You have broken their ranks on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction. Mission complete. Excellent work,
Yeah, but I
Lieutenant.
was pretty sure it said 180 to 100. You saw that, right? I thought I picked the right mission. Whatever.
Yee, it was flood.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I thought it was a flood. It must have changed while I landed in there. Because that happens where it just changes on your way to the mission. But you see this right now. It says Kuba Flood. So if we go in there, it's like level 10. It's like, that's not on me. Like, I thought I picked it right the first time, but who knows? The problem with these Kuba Floods when it's a survival is
Yuck.
trying to get the oxygen right. But we'll see if this is a Kuba Flood.
A lone Tenno operative is raiding for supplies. You are here to distract the enemy. Trigger.
We'll put an end to this corpus greed.
Life support cut off. They're trying to check you out. Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support.
Well, we might be getting
I've
through this one
delivered a life
quickly.
support capsule to the area. Act will bring more time. What is that thing?
Listen, the machines are coming to life. There's Kuba in the air.
Resonance frequency has changed. We're onto something, Tenno.
No!
The reason I said that is because when you have a certain amount of damage, like everything seems like level 20, so.
Life support on the way. Use your operator form to strike those Kuba clouds. I've delivered life support capsule. Your operator target the other Kuba clouds.
My siphon! My Kuba! You're messing up all my plans. I don't like it. Not one bit.
Good work, Tenno. We need to do everything we can to stop the Queens from gathering any more Kuba.
You see, he's gone.
Tenno, prepare for life support. Additional life support has arrived. Life support incoming.
Yeah, I must have hit the button wrong last time. He had to switched on me while we were landing there, like I was saying earlier. Cause that is the thing that happens in this game. Because of lag or whatever,
Another
it takes you a
life
long
support
time and it
capsule
just
is
switches
now
over to another
available.
location. You're like, okay.
Life support activated.
My Warframe is strong.
When you need it, extraction is... The raid is off to a successful start.
Say like, can I get my ability?
Mission complete.
Like,
Excellent
oh
work,
no, I
Tenno.
pressed the button. They just probably the stream for me thinking I did something and probably didn't. Either that or I could just blame lag like everybody. That's the thing. So this one's definitely not a Kuba flood. We'll see if anybody joins. Probably the easiest boss in the game.
Don't be dead, punch your bit.
We've been locked out. Let's override the security.
How am I already locked out?
Alarms reset. What is that thing?
Guardians, distract the child.
They scared you.
My question is, how is he dead already? Like, these are level 25s, like...
Hey, sorry about that, Rumble. Lost track of time. Got to bullshit and then
The resonance frequency has changed.
lost track of
You're onto
time.
something.
Alright.
Don't let them
I don't
do
know
that.
if you can join right now, but I'm in a Kuba
They've brought in
siphon.
reinforcements. A Bursa.
I'm starting up Warframe now.
Okay, so yeah. They probably won't let you join.
Yeah, probably. By the time it finally loads up, it might not.
Yeah. Well, I'll be out of this one pretty soon.
What a waste.
Okay, what is going on? I think there's something wrong with my game, like...
How come?
Because, like, I clearly went to a Kuba siphon. And it's a Kuba flood. I earlier went to a Kuba flood and it was a Kuba siphon. And I'm like...
No, protect the siphon.
So the guy watching the stream right now can vouch for me, like, because even he saw that I went to a Kuba flood earlier. And it's not a Kuba flood, so I don't know if I'm off.
Walkers incoming.
Or the labeling's off and it's like reversed. Because it clearly said Kuba siphon when I went in here. That's very weird.
I think that happens sometimes.
Doors are locked.
Is it opposite
Because there
now?
have been missions I've clicked on thinking I was going into one type of
You
mission,
useless balls
and then I get in and
festering
I'm like, wait a
fluff.
minute, this was supposed to
You
be
let
a
them destroy my
capture or a spy, and but instead it's a excavation or something. And it's like what the heck's going on? So
override. Move.
Yeah, even he's noticing that it's opposite, so it's... I'm like, this is weird. Yeah, it's the one for the sergeant, the Kuba siphon.
They won't be bothering us anymore.
So I don't know
get out of here.
if you still see it.
okay, let's see. Where's the location?
For the sergeant on whoever the sergeant is, I can't remember what it is offhand.
Let's see. That's I always get the sergeant mixed up. From one location, I go to one location and it's like I was see he's in that spot.
Siphon 80 level enemies doesn't make sense.
Get out of here.
Yeah, Marcus. Yeah, it's siphons are supposed to be from 20 to 35 instead of 80 to 100 what floods are. Yeah, so I think it's Bud. So Marcus is wondering the same thing about the siphons too, since he's watching the stream. Because he saw that everything was level 80 to 100.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's really weird. Yeah, so now I have a capture mission up. That's 80 to 100. Which I shouldn't probably have up since I just did a mission that was 80 to 100. Unless the guy that I joined on was still behind on his rotation and his mission was still 80 to 100 and it didn't switch over for him. Which is really weird.
That's peculiar, yeah. That is peculiar.
Okay, so I'm about to click on this flood right quick, and we'll see if when we go in here, if it's actually 100. Because you see right now, it says 80 to 100.
I've run diagnostic regression.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screen right now, and it specifically says the flood, and it specifically says level 80 to 100.
Yeah, because the last flood I did was level 20s, and the last siphon I did was level 100. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe now.
It's like gambling. You click on a mission, and you know what? Who knows what you're gonna get?
Right.
It's like, oh, you wanted a Cuba flood? Really? No.
Right. Yeah, that would be awkward.
Oh, they win it though. Oh God, I would be like, no, please, not the Arcwing mission.
Right. Like that's the only way to get people to play Arcwing missions when they put in a capture mission.
To trick them.
We know Arcwing sucks. We have to fool people just to play this game mode.
Oh man. You know, I will say one thing though. The Chroma, the Ruby, and the Graham Prime relics do seem to drop pretty doggone often from Arcwing missions. I know it's bad to say that, but
I mean, would it make sense that nobody plays them and they gotta give them some reason to play it?
That's wrecked.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Marcus likes your jokes. Yeah, he agrees with you. Well, we'll see in a second if I'm right or I'm just confused.
God, wouldn't it be funny though if this was an Arcwing mission all of a sudden?
That would be messed up. As much as I hate Arcwing missions.
On a capture mission.
I would have to laugh hysterically though. Be like, all right, well played, DE. Yeah, well played, you got us. That's good.
We'll need to be careful.
Oh wait a minute, we just got here. How did someone get down?
The cat just got destroyed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the cat right here.
Escape.
And it's glitched too.
Those
Tigger,
are the
Tigger.
Queen's braids.
All right.
What are they up to?
Or is that Tiger? Tigger. No, it's Tiger.
Look
Tiger,
at
Tiger?
this.
Yeah.
A dreamer's
I don't know if he's- I don't know if
he's trying
Went
to-
to my Kuba siphon.
Yeah, I was gonna say it should be 2, but
The capture target has vital information that we will need to extract.
I
Okay.
forgot to switch my phantasma to my.
I'm going after the target. If you want to hold the siphon down, because I don't think they can catch the target. Because he's running free.
No time to ask questions. Destroy that thing.
Okay, I think
I'm
they might have
getting
got
rid of
him.
these guardians.
Okay, I'm coming back.
As well. Someone
You've been
is down
locked down.
again,
Override the security.
Right.
but they're like 265 meters
You're
way over.
snoring, dreamer.
Yeah, we're chasing the
My
targets.
machines are tougher than that.
Where's the? Okay, it's right here.
Mission complete. The captain is escorted to the extraction
Yeah,
point.
like if we
Well
don't
done.
capture the target immediately when the siphon
The
pops, he'll
resonance
just keep
frequency
Yeah,
running.
he's gone.
You're
And as we
Yeah.
saw earlier, he has all that health, and you like, yeah, you might get one shot a couple
Use
times.
your operator form to strike those
Yep.
Kuba clouds. Breach
Because that was a
complete.
level
Free to
30
proceed.
Guardian earlier, so. So these level 100 are even worse. Alright, I'm heading back.
What? They
Yeah,
must
it's
be stuck somewhere.
It's probably stuck on the steps somewhere.
I'm gonna run away from the.
It's right here on the steps. I got it.
Siphon.
Yeah, it's right here. Where
You
I'm
got
at.
it?
You see me?
Oh yeah, I got it.
It's really right there.
Don't
That's
Yeah,
stuck on
sometimes
the
I get
do that.
stuck on collision. Like how smoke has collision, I'll never understand, but that's a thing. I guess.
Wow, that was really, really delayed. Straight ahead.
Yeah.
My siphon! I can't believe how useless you all are! Report for execution at once!
Good work, Tenno. We need to do everything we can. to
Whoa,
stop
look at all the
Queens
ancients.
from
Yeah, the
gathering
crap, they're
any
coming
more.
from me.
Oh,
I'm
they
going
are?
down.
Alright, I'm coming back for you. Yeah, you should tell me you
Yeah,
were
they
getting
were
ready because I
apparently-
didn't hear anything.
It's really delayed right now. The game is being really, really funky as far as the delay goes. Okay, Tiger's down.
I got you.
Alright.
Yeah, and if he's still down,
Level
I'll pop-
94.
Yeah, I got him back up.
Book
Yeah,
by
the
Ancients.
Ancients have no joke.
Yeah, well, they were level 94, so yeah, they were charging straight at me. And it's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that is no joke.
Did we get them all? Nope, there's one more.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, see, here they are. They didn't drop a blueprint, though.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Is this a blueprint? What is this?
If it's a little
God, why is this
module,
game-
then it's a blueprint.
Over on Neural Optics, yeah, I'm not seeing an ancient healer blueprint.
Yeah, they probably didn't drop one. They
The,
probably
the
trolling.
game is being really, really funky right now. For me, I'm seeing like really big delays between when you do something and when it actually is occurring in game.
Okay. Well, we'll leave.
So I don't know if,
We'll leave this group and make you host. I'll join on you. Because it probably doesn't help that I'm streaming too, so. Because on my end, it's not bad.
what? Yeah.
But it
Well,
might
it's
be
just like,
because
for
I'm
example,
streaming
I-
too, so.
Right, I charged through a Kuba Guardian at one point, and nothing happened. And then probably 3 seconds later, I finally heard its scepter drop, and it's like, wow, okay. Like, I'm over here doing something else now, and now your scepter drops.
Yeah.
I'm on way. My Frost is a slow poke.
You got.
As much as I like Frost.
Yeah, you probably put the speed mods on them. You have two of them, 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea, just to speed him up a little bit. I was going to use Nezha and forgot. Oh well.
Okay, well, if we want to use Nezha, I'll just switch off.
You can use Nezha too. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of weird having 2 Nezhas in a Kuva, in a Kuva flood. Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah. I can use.
So just re-invite me and I'll join on you.
All right, I gotcha.
I could always go to Nova, so.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, Nova is very, very good. Very good.
Especially for the Kuba floods, where you got things trying to kill you. So. All right,
so
let's switch to Nova.
Give me your 2 cents. I was just gonna say, Romo, give me your 2 cents on how do you feel about the Vauban, quote unquote, rework?
Okay, so since I'm streaming, give me and my stream viewer the rework idea, since he may not know as well.
Oh, okay. Well, they changed his passive, so now you're doing 25% more damage to downed enemies, whether that's through Vauban himself or other frames that are currently with you on your fire team, and you can now charge your first. I'm sorry. That's it.
Marcus is probably sitting there, what? That's it? That's all they did to him? Okay,
that's yeah.
My opinion is they needed to do way more than that.
Yeah, that second needed to go bye-bye, man. And the crazy thing is, there's so many content creators out there that made such just excellent suggestions for tweaking or completely changing his second. And they didn't buff his fourth. They didn't bring it up to the current level of content that we have. And they're calling this a rework, and it's like,
oh, it's not a rework. What happened to Nezha is a rework.
Yes,
what happened to Saren is a rework. What happened to Vauban was just like, hey, he's still in the game. We know he still exists, type of thing. It's like,
yeah, that's like a wave. That's like waving. That's like Vauban, like being in the back of the locker, like waving, like, hey, I'm still here. Hey.
Right. So what I feel like, and like a lot of people have said, is they have to decide what his thing is. His 2 needs to be changed. His 1 needs to be changed. And they, as a developer, need to decide whether his 3 stays or his 4 stays.
Oh, you can't get rid of that 4. That's like his best ability.
Me when I went in there.
Excellent. And his mods actually make it really applicable in certain situations where you can charge up a huge number of vortexes in like a doorway, for example, and just completely CC anybody that even gets close to the doorway, anything and everything. His Bastille, I don't think his Bastille will go bye-bye, because that's kind of been his thing, like back in the day for raids. That's what you used Vauban for, was his third, his Bastille. His second needs to it needs to exit stage left, like immediately.
But what I'm saying is that, like, they need to decide, because his 3 and his 4 are competing as his ult, so they have to decide which is his ult and build towards that. Like his 2, his well of grenades, or whatever you want to call it, they don't do enough damage. And you can't really spec for into it, because it's like you can't spec into something else. So it's like, what is his place? So like, what people suggested was like he be a turret guy, like he drops out turrets
That would be a good idea.
One turret's a heal station, one turret's a shield station, or a debuffer.
Mm-hmm.
One's
Yep.
the ammo station, because you always need ammo in long runs.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that would give him a viability with his tool. That way you say, okay, we always gonna have ammo with Vauban here, so we don't have to have carrier anymore. So then you can say, okay, you can bring your Kavats into this because you know Vauban's there. He's gonna keep giving you ammo. So it's like they need to think of like, okay, what does he do nowadays?
Collect dust nowadays.
Yeah, like what is his strength in today's meta? Like an ammo guy will always be good. It may not be quote unquote the sexy pick or the flashy pick.
Yeah.
But
Right.
like if you can free up a spot where you don't have to run carrier, because let's be honest, we all run carrier because it's a quality of life thing. So but if you have somebody that can take that away, you can say, okay, now I can run my Kavat for more damage. Or if we're doing Kuva floods, you say, oh, I can run my other Kavat for more chance to get more Kuva. He has a place there. But now it's just like he throws a grenade down and just tickles the enemy. And you're like, thanks, Woven.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
And you know, this doesn't bode well for Nyx, her rework, because if this is what they're going to do, that means they're probably just going to tweak Nyx's first and be like, oh, look at everything we've done for Nyx. And that's going to be about it. It just doesn't bode very well. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they just go ham on Nyx. But if Vauban's any indication, yeah.
So my thought process today was, I was just thinking, Nyx needs a one. This is probably people say you're rehashing, but like
Kuva missions are too easy if they don't bug.
that is true, Marcus. But if my thought for Nyx was like, imagine if Nyx's one was like Saren's one. Like it actually doesn't do damage, but it spreads confusion through the battlefield. But like Saren's one, if you do enough confusion, this might be a little bit dark for
Your
Warframe.
job is to distract the enemy.
But if you do enough confusion, like you have with enough side,
make your presence known.
They'll have plenty of robotics.
like they actually
Focus
turn their
fight
guns
for
on themselves. I don't know if they'll ever go that dark. I'm not saying they should go that dark.
It might not, but that would be awesome.
I find you bugging on public
Okay, I can't
squad.
cast my ring on you.
Yeah, you have to have a safeguard. You have to have the augment safeguard on.
Shut down all systems.
Oh, you can't cast it on others now without the augment, huh?
No, you have to have the augment.
Life support capsule has arrived.
Okay, all right.
Supplies.
Yeah, so I mean that would be a great thing where you're like, okay, Nyx, because she's supposed to be the master of confusion. But I don't know, like, will they ever take Nyx that dark, where the enemies are committing suicide, or they're just killing themselves outright? If you don't want to take it that way.
That would be funny as hell, though. It would. Not that I'm saying.
Suicide is funny. Yeah. I am streaming, so you might want to clarify that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the suicide thing that itself is funny. Just for the game mechanic is what I'm saying. That would be.
Yeah, and that goes back to my original point, like, as we were talking the other week, how do they view the Warframe? Because if you're supposed to be a master of confusion, you should be one of the most powerful Warframes in the game.
What is that thing?
Because they don't know where you are, because they're confused.
The machines are coming to life.
So that's why I feel like they should have that effect that the Saren has with the psychic bolts, or whatever, her one. Where they're all just, she's spreading confusion through the battlefield and they just don't know what to do.
I've delivered another life support.
Yeah, her 4 doesn't need to be changed because it's good, but like,
No time to ask questions. Destroy that thing.
Wow, that was fast.
Okay, this one. But I don't know like how far they would take Nick, because they have to take Nick pretty far. Because she's not being used, so you have to buff her to a high level.
Vacuum dug LA out.
Yeah, that's a bug they need to fix too, Marcus.
Spoil in trouble. The puppets
Wow,
dance
just
while
right on
the
top of it.
chamber bubbles.
Alright, I'm just gonna stand right here.
Yeah, I'm trying to clear off. Oh, and I fell off the map. Wait, what? It's coming from that side over there.
Get ready for a capsule.
You got it, okay.
Don't let them do that!
My Warframe is strong.
Yeah, but they just have to decide like what is the goal with Nyx. If the goal is to get people to play the character, then like you have to buff her to high levels, because nobody's playing her now. Because they showed the chart where nobody across all MR is playing her.
Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, it's right there in front of me. Got it. Alright.
You got it.
Operator form is key. Target the other Kuba clouds.
And since everybody from 1 to 15 or 1 to 25 MR isn't using her, they have to decide like what they want to do with her to get everybody to use her, because they're not using her now. So, and I fell off.
Hurry.
At least I got
Use
that
your
though.
operator form to strike those Kuba clouds.
Yeah, they're that doggone spot right there is annoying. It just instantly goes straight to the siphon.
Life support incoming.
My siphon! I can't believe how useless you all are! Report for execution at once!
Alright, we're at 34.
Good work.
Yeah, I popped this
We
one.
need to do everything we can to
We just gotta
stop
wait 30
mutants from
seconds, so.
gathering any more Kuba.
Oh yeah.
That should keep you going for a while. Another life support capsule is now available. Support has been replenished. Extraction is available, if you need it. Aid is off to a successful start.
Yeah, but I would like the Nyx to be good, but having one ability is kind of bad. And people not understanding like what your other abilities to do. That's the kind of problem with Nyx. Is like people use her for to be like a Terminator to walk around the map, but it's like outside of that, like nobody really uses Nyx. Like you can't really say like what's the good spot for her 1, her 2. Yeah, her 3 is good for cow control. But it's like Loki does that with his augment, so it's like they have to decide to change Nyx or change Loki's augment so it doesn't do radiation.
Now I've said for years now that Loki does need to deal some kind of damage, either on switch teleport. You know, that switch teleport causes like a slash proc, on enemies because of you know, the severe, say, disruption to their location. His burst should deal some kind of damage when enemies get too close to the decoy, so that and then once they destroy it, it should do kind of an area of effect blast or some kind of damage on enemies that are too close to it. Because it just would seem to kind of make sense, and I think make Loki a little bit more useful in that scenario.
Yeah, the problem they have is they have a lot of Warframes that do what other Warframes do, so it's like,
oh yeah.
Why would you use Nyx when Loki's 4 pretty much does everything Nyx can do, and it disarms him? It's like that one augment pretty much breaks Nyx. And that's kind of sad when you think about it. An augment breaks a Warframe. So then you have the whole mag with the Saren thing, because they both remove armor, and it's like, yeah, like, that's why I was against the Saren changes from viral to corrosive, because I was like, what's the point of mag now? But I realized why they did it that way, because Saren would have been way too powerful. It was still viral. So.
Relax, child. You won't feel a thing. Promise.
But I just wish they had kept it viral so
What
mag
an ugly child. Yeah.
would be affected. So.
Let's go.
So hopefully we'll see what they have plans for Nyx.
Yeah, I hope it's good.
Brought in reinforcements. A Bursa. That worked. Your operator files. Their Kuba clouds.
Yeah, like I hope her pacifying boats actually pacify. Instead of just like, it might work.
What a waste.
Yeah, I also hope that they get away from those ones where it's like, hey, our one is a fireball that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that whole charge up thing is getting old, and that's kind of my concern with Nyx, is that they're going to change it so that you can now charge it. And they're going to be like, ooh, look at this. And you're going to be like, no.
Right. Because Process 1 is basically a fireball mechanic. Nyx's 1 is kind of like a fireball. Ember's 1 is a fireball, literally. Oberon's is basically a fireball that you shoot at people. And all of those abilities don't do nothing.
Whoa. What?
I got caught on fire, I think.
Nice work taking down.
Oh, not you. I was wondering about why it didn't let me
Destroy that.
get that Kuva cloud.
Well, hey guys, I gotta run. See you, maybe see you.
Alright. Thank you for stopping through, Marcus. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Flesh! You let them destroy my Kuva siphon.
You've destroyed Kuba siphon. We can't allow any of this to survive.
Yeah, I just feel like Ember's fireballs do way more damage than it does. Like, if you're gonna have a 1, like a fireball, it should be a ball of fire that they can't put out. And it should tie into all your other abilities. Like, while they're on fire,
time to break in.
You do more damage to them. Because that's what happened with Nezha. Like if you hit somebody with your
Override
ring of
complete.
fire
Move on.
and you have them up in the thing, you do more damage on their while they're on their spears.
Alarms successfully hacked. The location is returning to normal security.
So I don't know if we can see any enemies right quick, because I'll have to probably show you the next mission because the enemies despawn. But once you put things up on the spears and you hit them with your ring of fire, your melee damage and/or your weapon damage is double damage. So you're actually doing more damage by using your abilities. So then when you add the augment, the reaping chakram, you even do more damage on top of it. So that's why Ned's just so powerful now, because he's stacking damage on top of damage.
Well, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, at this point right now, Nezha is actually
Great work, Tenno.
doing more damage with his fire than Ember does with hers.
Yeah.
But again, that's just a case of showing what kind of state Ember's in right now. You know,
Yeah.
Ember's in a bad state.
So that's what I was thinking. Like, you have moves like Accelerant, you have moves like Fireball. Those moves need to be like, there needs to be a point to them. Like, what's the point of the Ring of Fire? I never understood that.
The Ring of Fire, I think, could be okay, like for defense missions, you know, or objectives where you have to defend something. I think it could work, but it's one of those abilities that needs some tweaks, it needs some adjustments, you know. It needs more knockdown, and fire needs to proc. The damage needs to proc more often, as far as multiplied with the accelerant. That needs to be bumped up. Her damage in general needs to be pumped up, because she's in such a bad state right now, and I think she needs some sort of carbon shielding or something. That way enemies damaged by her fire add to stacking shielding, called carbon shielding, and that way, and then of course taking damage reduces stacks of it, so on and so forth. That way, she's never been a tank frame, so I don't think they'll ever give her like loads of armor. But even shields is better than, give her a little bit more longevity, you know, so you can take her into higher level missions, and if you up her damage output, that would be good as well.
Right.
Eliminate all Corpus threats.
But see, I was thinking like, the whole point of the wall of fire, like you're saying, should be like for defenses, where you put that wall of fire around a defense or an excavator, and it should negate damage inside the ring of fire or wall of fire. Because if you ever hear about like firefighter stories, or like when they go into a burning house and there's a wall of fire, and how bad it is, like how much trouble they have to just break through that wall of fire. What they're essentially saying is like, yeah, it's almost like armor they're fighting through. So like, why has that never translated to the game? Where like her ring of fire is basically like Zephyr's turbulence.
You've been seen.
Because if you think about Zephyr's turbulence, it's basically like iron skin, but it makes sense because it's air pushing the bullets away. It's just air pushing bullets away.
Right.
So if Ember has a wall of fire, which is heated air, wouldn't it make sense that it pushes away even more bullets and catches the bullets on fire so they're not there anymore? Yeah, so that's what I was wondering. Like,
you know what could work good on that same topic that you just described? Any enemies that shoot at you, it leaves like a smoldering,
Those are the Queen's rays.
like
What are they
debris
up
on the ground. Enemies that get too close to it take damage, right?
Guardians, distract the child.
That would work. Similar to Mag.
Ugh, look at that scrawny creature. Where's the meat?
yep. Or Revenant's little pillars when you kill his familiars. They leave pillars of light to take damage.
That worked. Your operator form is key. Target the other Kuba clouds.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that they should give her like Iron Skin, like Zephyr has. But that's why Zephyr scales into endgame, because she has it. So it actually makes sense. But what I'm saying is, like, okay, you don't want to have another Iron Skin because Ember is so quote unquote fast because she's literally on fire. Her evasion stats should be so high that they literally can't hit her because she's on fire. Because what do we say about Usain Bolt? Usain Bolt, he runs so fast that he's on fire. That's the metaphor we use. So why doesn't that apply to Ember? That since she's on fire, her evasion is really high, and that's why they can't hit her. Yeah, it's just simple things that they can think about. But I just don't know how high they want to go
Kuba clouds.
with their buffs. Because I would love to see Ember get buffed like Saren, but I really don't think she'll ever get that buff. Unless Pablo is doing it.
You useless balls of festering flesh. You let them destroy my Kuba site.
You've destroyed.
Yeah, but that also means that they will have to rework how fire damage works in this game.
The enemy is broken. Well,
And I don't know if they're going to rework how fire damage works.
Oh, that's a good question.
We've been locked out. Let's override the security.
So you played D1, right?
Yeah.
You know how bad a Thorn was in D1, right?
Yeah.
Breach
That's how I
complete.
feel fire
We're
should be in
free
this
to
game.
proceed. Alarms set.
Like if
That
I
would
hit
work.
you, like if I hit you with fire, if I literally hit you with a fireball, you should panic and be like, "Yo, I'm trying to get out of here.
My Warframe is strong.
I'm not trying to get hit by a fireball again."
Right.
But the enemies don't do that. It's just kind of like, "Hey,
Thank you.
I'm hurt for a second. Now I'm back to my routine." Or some enemies like
sometimes.
Nox just tanks through it, and you're like, "Wait,
Mission
what?"
complete.
Exactly.
Excellent work, Tenno.
They just completely ignore it.
Yeah, because the only thing in this game that equals like the Thorn, quote unquote, mechanic is viral damage or slash damage. Like when you get hit by a slash proc, you're like, "Oh snap, I just got hit. I need to get to cover,
Right.
or I need to transfer to my operator to let the slash proc go away." But there is none of that for the enemy side. It's just like, "Oh, I got caught on fire. Let me shake for a couple seconds because I'm doing the Harlem Shake. Then I'm back to where I'm doing." Like, what? I'm just like, okay, like, what's the point of fire damage then?
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, in IRL, you know, no matter what you're doing, regardless of what you're doing, if someone sets you on fire, you're done doing it.
Yeah, like you're not
You
just
know what
gonna
I mean?
stop and be like, okay, I'm good now.
Like, oh, I've got to get this report done for work. No. Someone sets you on fire, you're done.
Right.
Like, so yeah, there should be some kind of similar mechanic, and it shouldn't require an augment. I've always thought that that's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah. To
That
make
you
them
have to run a
panic, you need an
firefight
augment. It's like, what?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Why would you need a mechanic? I mean, or excuse me, an augment to have panic when fire just does that by itself? You know, like, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not really saying like they need to up the damage. I'm saying like there needs to be an update to the panic state. Same way with electricity, like with Volt. I forgot about Volt. He has a fireball thing with his one too, where he does the whole Palpatine thing, where he shoots out electricity. Like, they should recognize like they're getting hit by electricity and like react to that. But instead, they don't react to it. They're like, oh, Harlem shaking for a couple seconds. Oh, I'm back to normal now. I'm done dancing. Okay. I'm like, okay.
They have just shut down systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way. The first life support capsule has arrived. Activate it when your supply is low. Life support coming.
All right, I'll stay by the life support if you want to go look for the siphon.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find.
Additional life support has.
No, it's not in this wing.
Yeah, it might queue in after the end. I don't know. Sometimes it starts early, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what the trigger mechanism is.
What's this siphon at?
I do not know.
This is extraction here. It's not going to be here.
Life support on the way.
I'll go the other direction, I guess. Alright, here it is.
Are the queens
Of course it's in the last room I looked at.
Okay. Well, our teammates should be spawning on you, so I'll just stay at the life support. If you need me, I'll come over.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
What an ugly child. Yuck. Huh. What a waste.
for a capsule.
Don't let them do that!
Another support capsule is now available.
All right, we got one more to go.
That should keep going for a while.
My siphon! I can't believe how useless you all are! Report for execution at once!
Alright.
You've destroyed the Queen's Kuba
We
siphon.
are out.
Can't allow any beast to survive. When you need it, extraction is ready. The raid is off to a successful start. Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Oh, I think my resource booster ran out, so I'm only getting like 500.
Oh, okay.
I'll see here once back to the shed. Figure out exactly what's active and what isn't.
You said you had 3 hours last time, so.
Yeah, my affinity shows 2 hours. Really? That's it? Just my affinities left? Yeah, it just shows my affinities, the only thing that's left. Alright, well, fair enough. I'll have to, pick up a resource.
Alright.
It always hurts buying these 30-day credit boosters.
Yeah. I can believe that. But it's worth it, I guess.
Yeah, if you need the credits, it's worth it, that's for sure.
Operator, were you visualizing a bloody battle?
Me too.
That's the only stipulation, I guess. If you needed the credits.
Yeah, you always need something in this game.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, I guess we're back to a content drought once La Ronda's done.
Mm-hmm. Until the elite alerts come back, or whatever they call them things.
Mm-hmm.
They saying Fortuna's gonna be here before the year's ended, so.
Extermination is the only option.
Hopefully.
So we'll see.
I just hope that Fortuna's going to be good, because they've made us wait long enough for it and have been kind of hyping it that I almost kind of wonder
I'm still detecting a lot of infestation activity.
if they
Let's
can,
clean it
if
up.
Fortuna can ever be as good as intended. You know what I mean?
It can't be. Nothing can live up to your height.
Yeah.
No matter how much we want it, nothing can live up to our height. Because that's on us as a
What is that
player
thing?
base, not on them. Because
Relax,
everybody's
child,
hype is
you won't feel
differently,
a
so their
thing.
levels is different than those at the studio, so
Promise.
there's no way it can live up to that height. Their problem is that they haven't released enough content.
Move and strike.
So we just get
We have
it
to
hype
win
in our
this.
mind that this is going to be the be all end all, and they're like,
Yeah, and that's going to be tough to follow. Very, very tough to follow.
That machine. It's using your energy too. This is bad.
This is a horrible
Distract the
location
puppet.
for...
Make it
Yep.
dance and flail.
The resonance frequency has changed. You're onto something, Tenno.
I didn't even
Double,
see it.
double, toil and
you barely
trouble.
can on this map.
The puppets dance while the chamber bubbles.
Hurry. Use your operator to strike those coupons. Your operator form is key. Target the other Kuba clouds.
My Kuba! Do not let them do that again! You useless balls of festering flesh! You let them destroy my Kuba site.
Good work, Tenno. We need to do everything we can to stop the queens from gathering.
Oh, that's an
any
Amber
more
Star.
Kuba.
I'll take you.
A little bit helps.
A juggernaut nearby? It will only attack when it senses high concentrations of infested blood. Slow the fight if you want it to go away. Heavy infestation.
Man, I was running the Sinus,
That did it.
which
Here,
is,
juggernaut.
you know, the infested survival.
Yeah, I've learned a
And
bunch.
I was running the Zenith. And one of the doggone jugs appeared. And the Zenith just decimated it. One shot. Like, oh hey. Yep, found another use for this. That'll work.
So how are you liking that infinite punch through?
Oh, it's really nice. I don't want to say it's almost broken, but it is kind of, just because it's silly that you can just at spawn pop out a disc and just start killing enemies across the map through walls, through floors, through ceilings. You know?
Right.
But at the same time, like, I would not run Loki without it.
Wasn't expecting you to say that.
Well, just because you can go into a spy mission, right? You can, before you ever hack the terminal to enter into the terminal room, you can pop out a disc against the door. It's with a circle every single camera scanner in the room, and you can just sit there and pink, 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 shoot every single solitary scanner in the room before you ever even enter it. And because the door's closed, enemies won't be triggered by the gunshot sound.
Another job well executed.
And you can literally pick off every single solitary camera and then just...
That's something. Never even thought about it like that.
I mean, you don't even need hush mods since you know, when you don't since you're not hacking the terminal and opening the door, you're leaving the door closed and locked. Enemies can't be triggered by that gunshot, so you don't even have to worry about being quiet, because they just, until that door's opened, they can't be triggered by it. So yeah, it works beautifully for that. And then you don't have to ever worry. If you're using Loki, you typically don't have to worry about the scanners anyway. Well, you would just have to worry about your time on your invisibility running out.
Yeah, and you're supposed to teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something I've never thought of.
This guy wants to run a mobile D.
It's a Kuba Cypher.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. It says Kuba Siphon, so.
It doesn't say... Yeah, it doesn't say Kuba Siphon on my screen.
Okay, it might be back to glitching out there.
Yeah, it just shows the mission. It doesn't show that it's a Kuba Siphon, so... We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah. I would be surprised if level 80 enemies be like, wait, what?
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you.
Some explode when killed. We'll need to strike and move.
There is a sanctuary target here, Hunter. I sense it. Track it with the synthesis scanner. Don't let it escape.
Oh, it won't escape.
That was a juggernaut. They were lured out by the death
It may not be alive either, but
Lay
it
low
won't
and
escape.
or amp up the fight to draw it out. This will only get more difficult. Get to a terminal. Prepare for enemy resistance. Location reached. Drop me in and defend our position. I am no longer detecting signs of a juggernaut. Move on. You are safe. I'm in, Tenno. This
So have you noticed the changes to Nezha?
multiple targets.
Yeah, he definitely
I will
seems
consider what I've learned from this skirmish.
better. His warding halo looks far more effective than it was. his fourth hasn't got that silly second animation.
There it is, right for synthesis.
Which is nice, because that thing was annoying.
Yep, it was unneeded. It was highly unneeded.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
It seems like enemies panic more with Nezha's first now. When they're on fire.
It's really good. Then when you start comboing his 4 with the 2, his 4 and his 2, and you see that double damage that you're getting, like, man, you realize why he's good now. Yeah, and that's what I was saying about Ember, like, she should combo, her 4 should combo because she's putting people on fire. Like, I get why there's a cap on Frost, because, like, you can't have that much crowd control on Frost. Like, being able to freeze a whole map and they'd never be able to get out of unthaw. Like, giving them hypothermia, I know, like, that we'll never get to that point where he's that powerful. But with, like, Ember, she should be more powerful than she is. It's like you're either burning or you're not. There is no halfway between it. Like, you're either on fire or you're not on fire.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Oh wow, his second has got really good punch through.
It's really good. So you combine it with the Divine Spears, and you'll see that damage jump.
Seems like if you combine Nezha's first with your Zenistar, it could be a good thing. Because the Zenistar, if you have Blast, will knock him down, and then they'll just lay in his fire.
Yep. Or you just run around in the circles and let them just catch on fire. Yeah, I do that a lot with Nezha too, just run around though. Because it all becomes like an instance of them being caught on fire. Because they have a circle of fire around them.
Terminal spot. Upload.
I'm really surprised you have not seen the siphon.
Yeah, that's how I was about to say.
I was just going to say the same thing.
I'm in, Tenno.
Because it's usually in this little spot around here. There's a little hole down here.
Yeah, I hate it when it spawns down there.
Yeah. It's like you can't see anything.
Yeah, on my screen it didn't show it was a Kuba siphon, so maybe, like you said, it's glitching out again where
it might be.
Yeah, where it's not showing
the
same mission for everybody.
Because it said fight for the my screen and his screen, obviously, so because he started the mission, so. It just hasn't popped yet.
Yeah, that's possible too. We just haven't seen it just yet.
So I've been meaning to ask you, since you've been using the Zen Star longer than me.
But we did it. Mission complete.
Does Saren's 3 not work with the Zen Star?
It should still work when you actually use the Zenistar. You know what I
so
mean?
it doesn't work on the disc, okay.
No, it should. It's from everything I understand, it should not work with the actual disc. It's just when you actually use it as a melee weapon.
Because I was thinking like it's gonna give me like corrosive damage if I had viral, but I could never seem to get the corrosive damage on the Zenistar. So I'm like, wait, does it not work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, DE's done their best to try and prevent, you know, the Zenistar from just being like just broken OP. And in those kinds of settings. So, well, we're at extraction. Do you want to just go ahead and extract?
Yeah. It might have bugged out or switched to another place.
Yeah, it could have at the last second. Like he may have queued it up, and that's why it didn't show Kuba Siphon for me, but did show Kuba Siphon for you, possibly.
Another job well executed.
Because we're not all on the same time frame, so there's that. So.
You
might have been behind
on
the mission too, so.
Very, very true.
Because I know I've ran like back-to-back floods, and I'm like, that's not supposed to how it works, but sometimes it works like that, where you join a group and they haven't done their flood, then you do your flood, then somebody else has a flood up, and you're like, wait, is this the magic lobby? Floods for days?
Yeah, no kidding.
But then it resets, and you're like, oh, okay.
Blood. Yeah. Hey, I'll be right back. Give me about 2-3 minutes, and I'll be back.
Let me cancel then. Because it's a flood right here, so.
Okay. Yeah, give me about 5 minutes, and then I'll be right back.
All right.
Ordis has been counting stars, operator. All accounted for.
Our position has been compromised. Defend the cargo until reinforcements arrive.
The Grineer have no honor.
Void Fishers, you need them to open a relic, but are you confident you can withstand their fury? Found a Fisher. Look out for the reactant. The enemies are dropping reactant. Keep fighting. Look for more reactant. Relic is cracked open. Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
No.
I just need the Wukong augment. Texas.
So you picking up the new augments for Octavia and Sarah and Cora?
I picked up let's see, Octavius. I haven't had a chance to really use it yet.
Actually, it's one of those things where we were talking earlier that it shouldn't be an augment. It should just be how it works. But I see why it's an augment. Because they don't have a toggle ability in this game yet, so that's why it's an augment.
Oh yeah, you just move to your aim point at 150% speed.
Yeah.
And you toggle it again. Yeah.
Like that should just be a thing in the game where you just press it and go there, instead of being an augment that takes up a slot on your Warframe. It should just be how it works. Like you press it and it goes there and it sits there.
Unless you can handle more of the enemy.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. That shouldn't be an augment. It should be already on that ability.
Or like, hey, I want to go roam around or stay around me, or roam around and distract them. You could toggle that on in the menu. Like for example, you can turn off music if Octavia is annoying you. Like you can actually turn the music off so you don't hear it. So it's like, why can't you have an augment like that where you can actually just make it say, okay, as Octavia, I want the rollerball to actually stop.
Very impressive, Tenno. You held them all back.
But
Time to get out of here.
It's kind of like Zephyr's tornadoes, where you just aim and they just go there.
Yeah. Yeah, just click to hold, or click to do this, click to that, hold to do this. like that should be a charge mechanic. Like, hey, hold button for your mallet to stay there. Like, that shouldn't be like an augment where you have to waste a slot.
Yeah.
So you can invite me. I'm out of the mission.
Because I probably, just for that one reason, probably would not use that augment just for that one reason. Is I wouldn't want to take up a slot, so.
I mean, it's good, but like it's like what literally it's replacing something.
Yep.
Whether it's more damage or more duration. Now, if it's in your excellent spot, that would be better, but still not great.
Yeah, I still, you know, there's so many. The thing is, the biggest problem is, I don't even really want to say this because I'm almost concerned. Like, if somebody at DE or somewhere hears this, my concern is. But the reality is, look, I mean, when we build frames, we use the same mods. When we build weapons, we use the same mods. You know, I mean,
yep.
I guarantee you that probably, if not a niche build, not a specialty build, just a general overall build, I could probably guarantee you, I would feel comfortable betting that 90% of the community has a near identical build on their weapons and your weapons and the other person's weapons and frames and so on and so forth, right?
Yep. Everybody's runs serration. Everybody runs split chamber or the equivalent for pistols.
Right.
Everybody runs damage on your, which is serration basically on every weapon. So it's like, why wouldn't you run serration?
Exactly. Like,
or the equivalent on your melee weapon too. So it's like, yeah. Everybody runs vitality because why wouldn't you? Everybody runs duration because why wouldn't you? Everybody has flow because why wouldn't you have flow on your Warframe? I'm like, yeah.
There's so many mods we don't use. I mean, and I don't know how many mods there are total in this game. 2,000, if I was guessing. There's a lot, and we probably use, as a community, what, 10% of that, if that. So, the whole mod thing itself, there's good Exilus. What I'm saying is, there's good Exilus mods, there's good Aura mods, and you can switch those up in regards to whatever event or activity that you happen to be in, right? So it's nice, and I like the modding system in Warframe. Don't get me wrong. The modding system, I think, for the most part, is good. But there's so many mods that we just don't use. And once you start adding augments that are going to take up a Warframe slot, for example, I'm going to lose 27% range, or I'm going to lose 20% duration to equip this augment.
Hi.
And if the augment does something that is, on the grand scheme of your frame builds, pretty much irrelevant, what should have already been a mechanic on an ability, for example, the chances of people actually using it are really slim. Like, if I'm looking at my build and my choice is A, use an augment that is really useful, don't get me wrong, it's useful, but I have to ask myself, okay, what do I give up range? Do I give up duration? Do I, in regards to gaining an augment that's going to add a little feature to an ability that is sharded.
Right.
I can't bring myself to soak a
Right.
a mod slot on a frame just to put in an augment. So like Ember Spire.
Yeah.
Right is,
It should just work.
Exactly.
But see, I feel like, and not to ignore big your comment, send me a PSN, send me a message with your name, your PSN name. But to answer your point, like it's just one of those situations where some things are more valuable than other things. I feel like it's gonna have to come to a point where like you're gonna need like a prime version of ammo case. Like, you think I'm joking, but like prime surefoot is a thing.
I know it is.
Like you think I'm joking, but like prime surefoot is an actual thing because people are like, hey, I hate getting staggered. So DE released prime surefoot for like day 900. I'm like, why DE?
You know, I'll be honest. If I'm going against like higher level infested with all those ancients, and I have a frame that can be grappled by an ancient, and I'm not using a melee weapon if I'm using a melee weapon that does not have momentum, that can't cancel that grapple, I'm not gonna lie. You know, prime sure-footed. Would I run it? You know, I might. You know, just because the whole ancient grapple thing is just so annoying because they can grapple you through walls, they can grapple you through doors, they can grapple you through floors. You know, that there's several enemies that need fixes. You know, obviously.
Right. But see, I'm not saying that prime surefoot is bad. I'm saying that like prime ammo case to be relevant. It has to be something like that where it's a prime version that busted to the point where you're like, I'm gonna take prime ammo case over Serration.
You're on the
you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be so crazy of an upgrade that people are like, I'm gonna put this mod over multi-shot, because that's essentially what you're looking at, the pick 10 system, if you want to call it that, or the pick whatever. It's like, do I place this over Serration or multi-shot? So what I was thinking is like, for them to do that, they had ammo case have to be something like, well, you get golden magazines and you would never have to reload.
Yeah.
Something for people to actually use ammo case, because nobody uses ammo case. Like, we get ammo case and we're like, lols, there's another ammo case. And it's not that ammo case is bad, it's just like, why would we use this over Serration when we have carrier?
Right.
Those are the Queen's braids.
Yeah, carrier's always going to kind of break into that default ammo, kind of ammo companion. And, you know. Now, I will say that DE did say several months ago that they were planning on doing some kind of a rework to the companions. You know, Sentinels, Tibets, Kubos, and I hope that happens. I cannot see the Kuba with the Zephyr Tornadoes.
Yep. It's right, it's coming up the steps.
What a waste.
You got it?
Somebody got it?
Yeah, okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah, but they have to do something like that extreme for you to use it, and that's the point, because like ammo case isn't bad. It gives you more ammo, but like, that's not bad. It's just like, in a game about damage and how much damage you do or how much damage you can mitigate, giving somebody more bullets by itself isn't worthwhile. Now, if they made weapons like the Phantasm you're using take less bullets to kill stuff, that would make ammo case a lot more valuable, because it would make the ammo economy, a weapon with a terrible ammo economy, viable.
You know,
but ammo case doesn't do that.
Yeah, you know what I always said about ammo case and ammo drum? In regards to those mods, what it should automatically do is it should also buff your reload speed. Because think about it. If you're carrying more ammo, so you're pretending, let's say you have, let's just RPG it, right? Let's say that you're carrying more ammo. Well, it stands to reason that you can reload quicker, right? Because you're carrying more. So I've always said that like ammo drum, ammo case, they needed like a buff in regards to not a huge buff, but they needed some kind of a buff on there for reload, and you know, or weapon switching, or both. You know, 10% you know, switching between weapons, 10% reload speed. So now all of a sudden you have an even tougher choice. Like, well, do we run this mod or do we give up something else? Particularly in weapons that have like a huge reload speed, poor ammo efficiency, something along those lines.
Because my big problem with the boar is that it just takes forever and 2 days with the reload, and I'm like, give me something to make it reload faster that I can take off my ribbon for reload. But I feel like it's either do something like primed ammo case, which may seem like a joke, or make some more corrupted mods or nightmare mods. Because that's another thing that they forgot about in this game. Nightmare mods. It used to be a thing when you first started out, like, ooh, nightmare mission. And you're like, why are we doing nightmare missions now? Oh right, none of the mods matter anymore. Or more corrupted mods. That would give people a reason to be like, okay.
That's one of those things. DE does that a lot, where they will start talking about doing something, and then they forget. You know, they get caught up in doing other things, and then before you know it, they forget. That's like that whole companion rework. They were supposed to do a rework on those to bring those up to date. With the current content that we have and the near future content that we have, and that hasn't happened yet. You know, I'm not saying that it's not going to. I'm just saying that I think that they just clearly forgot with everything else. And you know, I'm not going to blame it all on reworks because I think it's multiple things in regards to making plans to do something, implementing it, are two different things. You know,
they just need to hire more people. Like.
Well, even when you look at reworks, let's be honest, they spend far too much time on reworks. They just do. I'm not saying that we don't need reworks. I'm just saying that if they would fix it once, right, make it really good, leave a frame in a really good spot, then all they need are just slight tweaks moving forward. And in that regard, then all they would have to do is just, okay, we're adding this new content, blah blah blah. Okay, great. Let's tweak this frame. Let's tweak this frame, so on and so forth. Instead of completely having to go back to the drawing board and rework it. You know, bring out a frame. You know, I wish that honestly DE would just go ham. Release a frame like Revenant. Revenant should have been just a monster, right? He should have been a frame that just came out and just
been locked out. Let's provide the security.
Just wreck stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And unfortunately, it didn't happen, obviously. But now, at some point, they're going to have to go back and they're going to have to rework Revenant, right? Now they're planning on nerfing him, his efficiency on his 4.
They did.
Ride complete. Move on.
And it's like, why not leave them, like, when you get ready to release them, put them in a good state. Put them in a state where we get them and we're like, okay, this is, like, okay, a perfect example, Gara, right? She was in a great state when she initially, in my opinion, when she initially released. And then, of course, they nerfed her, and then, of course, the bug swallowed, and, yeah. Not that Gara's bad, it's just she's really kind of riddled with some enemies sticking their barrels of their gun through the wall. That sounds really bad. You know what I mean? No. Yep. Sometimes enemies just walking straight through it and ignoring it completely. Leave them in a good state. Release them in a really excellent state. And you know what? Call me an a-hole if you want to, but honestly, any frame that's over 2 years old should be in an absolutely great state right now. and that's
Right.
not the case. Like Bobin, Ember.
But see, we don't know. That's the problem, is that we don't know what their intentions for their Warframe is. We don't have anybody from DE with tutorial videos on how to play certain Warframes. There's nothing in game that says, hey, this is how you play Gara at high levels.
That's true.
There's nothing in the game that tells you, like, what her Splinter Storm should do at high levels. There's no, like, okay, here's the curated build for this
A
week.
new alert has begun. It marked on navigation.
That's not a bad idea, though. Honestly,
There's none of that. Like,
if in the dev stream, they could release what they use for a build. Like, give us a little insight into what it is that they're trying to do, right? So they show us a build, and you know what their intention is as they're going through. What's her name? The next the Valkyrie frame.
Garuda?
I forgot her.
Garuda.
Yeah, Garuda. Yeah. Am I crazy, or does that sound like some sort of cheese? Like, yeah, I'll have the ham of Garuda, please.
Yeah, that is a form of cheese.
Extra Garuda.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know, as they're going through and they're developing this frame, kind of give us an insight into what is going on. Maybe somebody, you know, the content creators can kind of help. You know, like, okay, well, let's not use this. Use this, for example. Like, I've been using Revenant for excavation missions. I don't typically use Revenants first because I find it annoying. So I don't typically use it that much.
Won't be enough to stop us.
But I actually use him for excavation missions because of the battery glitch. Right? We've all been in that situation where we are standing next to an excavator for 20 minutes waiting for a battery carrier to show up, and they just don't show up. Right? We've all been there. And I'm gonna go pick this guy up.
You're on the sensors now. You've been detected.
Never mind. I guess he's already picked up.
What I've learned from this skirmish.
But forget what I was saying now.
Hurry. Use your operator form to strike those Kuda clouds.
Alright. But you enthrall, like when you have like 10 seconds or less left on an excavator, use Revenants first to enthrall battery carriers and then slowly braid them to your new excavator. When you get them there, down them, and now you've got a stack of batteries laying around your new excavator. Right? So that's what I've been using Revenant for. Is that the intention? Probably
No,
not.
it's not. It's probably just some tech that you thought of, nobody else thought of.
Your operator form is key. Target
But it works. And, you know, a little bit of insight like that may help when you start talking about, well, let's look at builds. Let's look at future builds and why you would build this way and kind of DE's intention towards a frame. Like, I don't know what Garuda's purpose is going to be, because I kind of look at it like, we got Valkyrie, right? So I'm kind of wondering, like, what's going to happen with that.
All we know is that she's going to be really, really powerful. And the reason we have this assumption is that it's because Pablo is the one that's making her from the ground up. And he's the one that made Nidus from the ground up.
Nidus is great.
Yeah, so our assumption is because he's making her from the ground up, she's going to be super powerful. Because he hasn't put out a bad Warframe yet. So this track record is really high. But outside of that, we don't know how she's different from Valkyrie.
Yeah, and that's a big question. I think anybody would have to kind of temper their hopes a little bit and really kind of have to ask that question. Like, what is her purpose when we have Valkyr, and how is she going to be different, or what is she going to do that's going to be different? And like you said earlier, there's a lot of frames that have a lot of similar abilities.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Heavy robotic signature detected.
Yeah, it's like we have faith she's gonna be powerful. We just don't know like what separates her from Valkyr. Besides, Pablo's working on her, and he worked on Nidus.
Don't get me wrong. I love Nidus. Nidus is still one of my favorite frames, hands down. You know, I don't put like 6 to 8 Forma into a frame unless I like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I'm a fan of. Oh, hello. I was just gonna ask if this is a flood, but that answers that question.
Doors are locked. Break in.
Oh, I thought the switch was over here. Okay.
I've got one here. I'll grab it in a second once I clear out some of these enemies a little bit.
Breach complete. We're free to proceed.
Yeah, and that's the thing I wonder about. It's like, what is their place? Like, besides being on the bench, it's like, what is their place? And that's what I said to Metis when he first got Revenant. I'm like, Revenant's cool from everything I've seen, but what is his place?
That's a good question. I'm coming for you right now.
Yeah, I got myself up. I got a sniper behind me.
There's a frame fighter thing item scannable up there.
Okay.
Wait for it.
And that's what I asked. I'm like, I don't have a problem with Revenant. I just like, what is his point? Like, what does he do? And like, what's his niche? Like, what? When you say like, yeah, I got Revenant, I'm like, what's his point? Like,
yeah, I mean, he's okay. I mean, there's nothing he can't do in low to mid level.
Right.
Would I use him in high level? Probably not. Honestly, I probably wouldn't. There's just too many frames that can do the same job better. So, you know, I would probably use those frames over Revenant.
Yeah. I mean, I like him. I mean, his 4 is how 4 should be made from now on. Like, hey, I'm going against Corpus. It changes for me. I don't have to, like, figure out what the optimum setting to kill the Corpus. It just does it for me. Not saying, like, exalted weapons are bad. I'm saying, like, not everything needs an exalted weapon.
True.
Yeah, you can have 4s like his that just auto detects what the enemy is and switches on the fly. That makes sense.
What?
What happened?
This guy apparently put me down. There you go. That's what happened.
I didn't even see a guy. I didn't even see a guy there.
Does that answer your question?
I don't even know what hit you or hit me.
Yeah, it was a what do you call it? I forget what they called it. the Haroombas or Roombas or whatever
okay.
they're called.
We've been. Let's
Yeah, I didn't
override
even
the
see
security.
nobody. He was just like, oh, I come around the corner. I'm dead now.
Well, he started taking damage, and then he just suddenly like he got to one little tiny like bar, and then just stopped, and then wouldn't take any more damage. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh, well, I guess it would help if we eliminate the enemies, huh?
Yeah. But at least they'll keep spawning over here, hopefully. Yeah, I saw a green marker. I was like, oh, it's time to go to extraction. And I forgot, oh, wait, it's not.
Whoa!
You got a bunch of people?
I won't in a second.
The enemy is broken. Well done. To extraction.
Oh, I'm out of ammo. That was good timing. Phantasm out of ammo. What a surprise.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
So, yeah, that's why I was saying, like, there needs to be somewhere in the game a tutorial like, this is what we consider high level play with X Warframe. But then people will be like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, really? You have some Maris who's taking people for the afterlife, or whatever you want, a religious context you want to call about what he's doing.
Samaris is the devil.
Right, like, you can just be like, well, he's running a civilization.
Tenno, a new threat has begun.
And, like, he has a challenge this week for you to learn how to play Rhino. That's a simple way to solve the problem. Instead of being like, well, it doesn't make sense in the Warframe universe. I'm like, this dude is literally taking people's souls in a scanner and keeping them so you can run civilizations to kill them over and over.
I would be curious just exactly and I'm not saying that every frame needs intention, like some kind of intention or purpose. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it would be interesting, at least to me, if DE did say, like, this is why we created this frame for this purpose, or this is why we designed it this way, so on and so forth. And obviously not every frame is going to have a purpose, so not every frame would have a tutorial, as it were, but at least
operator? Is that a
in that case we could look at it and go, oh, okay, this is interesting, so this is their intention behind it, and we could kind of look at it from that point of view, as opposed to just people from the outside like ourselves looking in going, okay, well, just like what we said about Revenant, like Revenant is just kind of, yeah, he's kind of okay. Well, what was their intention behind it? Obviously Rebecca, her intention was a vampire, right? She's a vampire fan, so.
Yeah,
but was there anything else to it?
Yeah, there needs to be like, okay, what's the point? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I still think Revenant should have released, like, just monstrous, right? Just he should have been just, he's a form of an Eidolon, right? He should be just like a monster. But, yeah.
Well, they said, like, he's gonna control the map, because they had changed it, if you remember. Like, his 4 wasn't the Mesa thing, if you remember back then. It was like, hey, his 4 is gonna put everybody to sleep. And everybody was like, wait, what? Nobody does that. We kill everything.
Yeah. Well, that plus Equinox, right?
Yeah. Because literally his whole thing is where he casts his 4, everybody falls asleep, and you would get like finisher damage on everybody because they were asleep, and you literally could control the battlefield, and people were just like, we don't play like that. We just kill everything. So it's like,
that's the same thing with IPS though. Because when you start looking at IPS and you look at the damage reduction from puncture, and then you look at the ragdoll from Impact. That's why Slash is preferred, because of the three, it's the one that actually kills enemies. So it's the most popular because what's better, A, ragdoll an enemy, or B, taking them out, removing them? Well, obviously, just getting rid of them completely is a better option rather than ragdolling them. So
right. Yeah, and it's because they're hung up on ragdoll, and I'm like,
yeah, they really are
bad.
Now, see, Revenant's 4 to me is more like Mirage's 4 than it is Mesa's. I'm not a fan of his 4, and that's another ability I don't use. Like, I use Revenant's 2nd and 3rd, very much like Chroma in that regard. And I just don't use his 1st or his 4. I just don't. Unless I'm on an excavation mission, then I use his 1st. You know, but other than that, yeah, I don't typically use his 1st that much. Now, yeah, the difference is between the experienced players. They typically have better, not always, but they typically have better movement mechanics than someone that's like brand new to the game. So they're able to utilize frames at a higher level just because they have more experience, right? So I'm not saying that an experienced player couldn't use Revenant in a high level mission. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that are there frames that do it better? Yeah, there are. And, you know.
It's just that, like, the only reason I bring up Mesa is because, once again, the messaging brought up Mesa.
Right.
Rebecca kept saying, like, oh, you're going to love Revenant because he's like Mesa. And you're like, oh, here we go. No, she didn't just say that. Because that's why I said, like, when Brozyme heard that, because Brozyme's favorite Warframe is Mesa. So when he heard that, he was like, cool, Revenant's about to be dominant. Then when he got Revenant, you were just like, oh, he's okay.
Yeah.
He does a thing. He can kill stuff, I guess. And it's like, yeah, like, that's the thing. When you say certain things, there's that disconnect where, like, they don't realize when they say certain things and the community hears certain things, it's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when they say, oh, it's like Mesa, the 4 is like Mesa, like, we're like, oh, it's gonna do a truck ton of damage. Mesa, he can soul the verse like Mesa can. And you're like, wait, he can't soul the universe like Mesa can? Oh, well, great. He's not like Mesa. He's like a poor man's Mesa. He's like one of those corner store Jordans. Like, you go to in the hood somewhere and they sell them Jordan and they say Ordens. They don't have the J on them. They're like, they say like Nike instead of saying Nike, they say like Neek. Like they say like Nikki. Yeah, it's like one of that. It's one of like those like the bootleg, almost close to what they're trying to get. And it's like, no, man, like, you just can't say any type of thing. Like, what you say has to mean something. And that's the disconnect that they have as developers. Like, they're pushing out like one thing, but then it comes out, it's like, this isn't a vampire. This is a guy who just spins in circles with a light show. And now he's somehow an Eidolon. You're like, wait, how do we go from Eidolon to vampire?
Disco Fever.
Yeah. I'm like, what? And that's what I never understood. It's like, I don't understand like how we got that disconnect. Like, how did that come about? Like,
unfortunately for DE, they're, you know, no matter what game we talk about, people always know better than the developer, right? Like, that's unfortunately that's this, and maybe it's because just a different point of view. The developer is right changing a game, whereas players are actually in the game, so they're seeing completely different things.
I mean, I have no problem like developer being right or we think we're right, or I have a problem with this when you tell somebody X and we get Y.
Right. Well, and don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that the community does know better. I'm just saying that the mindset is, no matter what content creator you click on, there's always that idea that they know better than DE, even if they really don't. And in some cases, it seems that they do, though. You know, in some cases, when you watch some content creators, you're like, yeah, you know, that's a great idea.
Suits you. Ha ha.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people who are like, Ember's great. I'm like, what are you talking about? Ember's trash.
Yeah, I don't see that. Yeah,
they're like, that buff to the damage was great. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, because I showed Raven like 2 weeks after the buff came out, quote unquote. I took him to the semi locker room, and I was like, okay, this is where World of Fire used to be, and this is the range of World of Fire now. And even him, somebody who like doesn't play the game or who's been gone because he serves in the military and he's doing his thing, even he recognized like, yeah, that was a nerf based on no reason whatsoever. Like, they reduced her range for no reason. And that's what I said to him. I'm like, what was the point behind this? Well, you get double damage, but you can't hit anything.
Yeah, well, and that's DE's attempt to try and keep the whole AFK play at bay. I'm a poet and didn't know it, but so that people can't just click on Embers 4 and then put the controller down and just walk off, right? That's their whole kind of game plan, which I understand it, I get it. You really don't want. And I'm not gonna lie, I've used that tactic. You know, just to be completely honest, I've gone into missions, defense missions, standing next to the pod. I've triggered Embers 4 and then I've walked off. I'm not gonna lie, I've used it before, and so I can kind of see DE's point of view on it, where they're trying to reduce that. I get it, but yeah, the energy drain, the range reduction. Ouch! That's a lot, and you don't get anything really that much in return. And typically, when I use Ember, I pulse her ability. I trigger it on off, because the damage gain isn't enough for me to have to actually contemplate. Do I leave it on? I'm burning more energy. I'm losing range, but I'm gaining damage. It's just not enough damage gain for me to actually even consider using when I can just pulse it, you know. And that charge up the first, oh god, they need to stop that nonsense, you know. And I can almost predict at this point that Nyx's first is going to have a charge feature. I can almost predict it. I can almost see it coming. I hope I'm wrong. Please be wrong. But I can almost see it coming now too. Oh, you know, charge up Nyx's first to blah blah blah.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, if you were gonna give her such a drastic nerf, you had to give her some kind of survivability, because that's all she had at low levels was her fire did enough damage where they were dead and she didn't have to worry about survivability. But then when you take that range or that augment that made everybody fall on the ground, she had no crowd control, because once again you took away the range, so now she can't knock people on the ground because they're literally right next to her for you to knock them on the ground. And it's like, if they're right next to me, what's the point?
Right.
And that's the problem I had with the nerf to Ember. It was like, they didn't think about like what it actually meant for playing Ember at any kind of level. Because you need enough range for the knockdown to actually matter.
True.
Because if they're right next to you, it's like, what's the point of the knockdown then? You're gonna be running past them anyway.
Yeah.
Life support incoming.
So that's why I say, like, it's funny, like, Ned's just a better Ember player than Ember is.
Yeah, he really is. From what I'm seeing,
And I'm just like, and that's what worries you by Garuda. Like, will Garuda become a better Valkyr than Valkyr? Or will Garuda be actually a good Garuda and stand on her own? Or will we just have two chicks to do exactly the same thing?
It's a good question. I think it's a very, very good question. It is the question that should be asked. But I will take the ham and Garuda with extra Garuda.
Yeah, I think the cheese you're talking about is Gouda.
It is, but whenever I hear the name Garuda, I automatically think cheese.
They probably thought of cheese too, so they were probably like, "Yeah, she's gonna be so overpowered that she's gonna be cheesy." That's why we called her Garuda.
There you go. Garuda, she's so good, she just cheeses all the missions.
Yeah.
We're on the way.
Yeah, but that's what I feel like. I feel like they need to take, like, hire more people, which is obviously they need to do. Hire a whole new studio. And have like 20 people work on
Relax, child. You won't feel a
changes.
thing.
So like have like 20 people work on, say, like Nyx.
Support capsule is now available.
And every day for a month, those 20 people are building Nyx up. Then have another 20 people working on weapons.
Something, Tenno.
And a third set of people play testing those changes and just work back and forth as those 3 units. Then let the rest of the studio, their main studio, work on other stuff. Because it's obvious to me that they don't have enough people. Because they're always like, well, we're talking about pets now. 6 months later, they're like, oh, we're talking about IPS. 6 months later, we're talking about Fortuna. And it always comes down to me like they just have these ideas, but they just don't have enough people to work on the ideas.
Hurry. Use your operative
If that makes sense to you.
Kuva clouds.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Get ready for a capsule.
So I just feel like they just need to hire more people so they can say, okay, our second studio is working on weapon changes. Let's go over it. So they can do one dev stream where they be like, hey, our second studio is working on weapon changes. Let's go to the second studio and see what they're doing. So that way people will get hyped about it. They can be like, hey, this is our new changes to Garuda. And they can just show gameplay of the changes to Garuda. Which one hand builds hype for Garuda. And it actually gives us a time frame of like how Garuda is looking. Instead of just like, well, she'll come out eventually. She'll be here sometime.
Extraction is available. Need it. The operative has just made
I'm
the
not seeing this
discovery.
Kuva cloud
Keep
here.
up the good work. That machine.
Is it caught
It's
underneath
using your
something?
energy to-
It might be caught on the
This is
step.
bad.
I'm coming.
Destroy it.
Alright,
Life
these guys are
support
all
has
going
been
down here.
replenished.
I'm coming.
Trying to get one
I
now.
hear it. Oh, it's stuck on the arm up here.
Don't let them do that!
It's right where I'm popping up.
Alright, let's see here.
I got it.
them picked
My
up.
siphon! My
Got it?
Kuva!
Yeah, it was stuck on the
You're
little
messing up all my plans.
locker.
I don't like it. Not one bit.
You've destroyed the Queen's Kuva siphon. We can't allow any of these to survive.
Alright, let's skedaddle.
If you stop for a second, I'll give you armor right quick. There we go.
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's that way, okay.
That should keep you for a while.
Yep.
That mullet started to shoot and was like, kablam!
Yep, that hot fire. Well, he's not a rapper, though. He spit that hot fire.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Oh good, I got a Kavat incubator upgrade segment.
Yep, my 800. My 800 of the week.
Yeah, they add up. You know, once you start adding up all this kind of, you know, garbage in your inventory and start selling it for credits, it adds. Like today, I sold like some regular Nova parts, some regular Ivara, Octavia, Oberon,
some Herald chassis.
Arrow. Yeah, bunch of those. I ended up with well over 300,000 credits just from that stuff.
Yeah, so I just got the mod we were talking about earlier, Trick Mag. 15% ammo maximum. And I'm like, who cares?
Yeah. It's probably a mod that the majority of people are not going to utilize. Warframe's augment. Let's see. Cloudwalker. Allies within 4 meters of the cloud become invisible for 14 seconds.
Yo, Zemstar works with that too, so.
Yeah, that's another one of those augments that should just be a part of Cloudwalker, right?
Yeah. It's a quality of life type of thing where like it should just be part of the thing.
Everything in orders, operator?
Let me see, okay, so I'm looking at Trick Mag.
I will attempt to bypass this fault.
And I'm gonna see what it's like leveled up. So Trick Mag gives you 90% ammo maximum. So that's not bad. It's just
well put together.
You know, Trick Mag should have
now
like
an
RNG like
and make the Lotus proud.
certain percentage to proc a double mag, right? Double, like a magazine that's double the size, right? Every so often.
Yeah.
On top of increasing your ammo max, something along those lines. Because that's what I think of when I think of the phrase Trick Mag. Is that's kind of what goes through my head.
But see, the problem with that thing is like if it's 90% or Prime Trick Mag where it's like 200%, like it doesn't even matter, like because the problem is it's not an extra 100 bullets, it's 90% of what you already have. So like if you have 5 bullets, since you're probably better at math than me, what's 90% of 5 bullets?
You're looking at about what, 3 something, 3 point something.
Right. So
you know, the easier way to go would be say 5% of 100 would be 5, right?
Yeah. So like so basically what you're saying is like you're gonna get like 3 extra bullets.
Tenno, there's
It's like
a time-limited mission available. Check navigation.
So like you got a mod that gives me 3 extra bullets on my shotgun. Like that 90% doesn't work with like shotgun spaz, which gives you 90% fire rate. You see what I'm saying? You see the problem I have is like 3 extra bullets versus fire rate, which kills enemies faster with a shotgun. Versus, hey, I have more bullets to kill them with. So like they have to go and look at their system of mods and say like, okay, all the mods need to be changed. Well, not all of them need to change, but they need to be reworked to say like, if I have this mod, will I use this mod?
Right.
And that's the same thing that they have to look at with Warframes. Like, if you change Nyx and nobody wants to use her, you basically wasted 6 months of your life.
Right, exactly. Well, however long it took for the rework, right? It's like Boban's rework doesn't look like it took that long at all. No, it's not me throwing shade at anybody at DE if they did work on it for like an extended period of time. Just that, you know, if you're just going to add a charge feature to his first and then just change his passive, that doesn't seem like a huge amount of work, since that mechanic for his first already existed with Ember. So yeah, it doesn't seem like that would take very much time at all. But again, I'm not a coder, so yeah, you know.
Yeah, and that's my thing. It's like, that's the goal DE needs to have with their changes. Is like, do the players want to use X? Will the players choose to use X over Y? And if the players doesn't want to use X over Y, why are we changing it? So whether it's Warframes like Nyx or like Ammo Drum in the mods, they have to give the user a reason to use Ammo Drum over something else. Or it just continually won't be used.
Eliminate all practice threats.
Your wording Halo makes my the image of my Arcoplasma all blurry.
That's weird. It doesn't do that for my Arcoplasma.
Yeah, like the barrel's all like blurry.
Yeah, that's weird.
Huh. Let me look at yours. Yeah, yours looks clear. Does mine look clear on your screen?
Yeah. Maybe it's a thing where you're not supposed to have a halo and it bugs out.
Possible.
You know, I find it funny now that we have 3 Nezjas in here.
I was gonna say, that's just a Nezja squad.
Right, and before the update, you would never see Nezja besides me.
What is that?
I know.
I'm probably like the only person that you heard probably use Nezja.
A dreamer sleeps
And actually like using
Kuva
Nezja.
siphon.
Now, back in the day, I used to use Nezja quite a bit.
Flesh thing. Thoroughly unappetizing.
Okay.
But kind of stopped just because. You got eyes on it? There.
I don't see it. I'm fighting like 3 Kuva Guardians. Right over my head.
What? I didn't get it?
It's using your energy too. This is bad.
I even
Destroy
jumped off the map to get it, and it still didn't count it. Alright. I see how you are.
Alright. I don't see where you went. Oh, there you go.
Boom! 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 Look at those
Coming from the bottom.
fireworks. But it's all for show. My Kuva siphon is Warframe proof. Ah! Don't let them do that!
That was weird. Coming from the bottom left.
Left side.
My little rumpled dimples.
Counted that
Why
time.
must you let them hurt my siphon?
Looks like.
Do you want me to get mean?
Oh, we got cool guardians. Dang it.
Coming from the top left.
The child's hurting my Kuva siphon. Queen's immortal guard. You're just a waste of food.
Whoa. Hello.
Yeah, you kind of got punched in the back of the head by Google Guardian. There you go.
Thank you.
Top right.
Yep, it's way up there.
My siphon! My Kuva! You're messing up all my plans. I don't
Damn it.
like
Yeah, if I jump
Not
off the
one
map,
bit.
if I dash off the map one more time,
Destroy
I'm gonna be mad at
Queen's
myself.
Kuva siphon. We can't
that
allow
happened.
these to survive. Doors are locked. Time to break in. Override complete. Move on.
Look at all the look at the fire trail from the Nezhas.
Yeah. Nezh's popular right now.
Yes, indeed.
Like you should have saw the region chat when on the first day. Like it was just like I don't want to come off as like anti-homosexuals or like anti, but like man, like the community chat was like super like aggressively gay. It was like the most. I was like, really?
It was that bad?
It was
I
just like
avoid
nothing
region
but
chat.
like penis jokes and like implants and enlargement things referring to Nez's junk. I'm like,
see, I tend to avoid region chat just because it can be so
toxic,
cancerous.
Yeah.
Yes, it can just be so bad at times. It's just like, all right, I'm just gonna go ahead and not actually once, but actually go into region. So don't get me wrong, sometimes it's hilarious.
I don't go in there.
Times.
It defaults to it. Like whenever you log in,
Right.
it defaults to the region chat, and like for the first like, while I was trying to set things up, it was just nothing but like penis things. I'm like, really? It's like you just can't avoid like all the penis comments and all the like pseudo gay comments that people were making about Nezha. I'm just like, wow, people. Like I thought you were joking on your booty prime thing, but I'm like, now that I read that, I was like, this is probably a thing. Like, I didn't think it was a thing, but I guess it is a thing. That people can think their Warframes are sexy or not, and I'm like,
oh, there's a huge talk about booty prime. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the debate about Valkyr and Ember and. Oh yes.
yeah, I thought you were joking. I was just like, no, he's actually serious. It's an actual thing in this community. I never would have known.
It says there's an enemy here, but I do not see him anywhere. Maybe it's pushed through the wall?
Probably.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. A successful mission. Find extraction.
I was way back there killing enemies. Oh well, that's right, yeah.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
I didn't do crap that run. Oh well, the main objective was to get the Kuba. We got the Kuba.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I never really worry about numbers.
Yeah, I normally don't even pay attention. Wasn't it you the other day we were running a mission and I think it was you and I on some map, and we just kind of stood around and let somebody with a limbo. Yeah, it was you running Nova, I think. We just stood there and no, maybe it was Mayhem. It may have been Mayhem now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, wait a minute, we got to run this alert. We have to run this alert. I hate the default Revenant helm. I despise it, and this is his alternative helmet, which was 75 plat, so, and it's finally an alert mission.
Okay. We might have to back up because the random might be AFK.
True. But his alternative helmet looks so much better than his default helmet. His default helmet is, I can't stand his default helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost bought his alternative helmet, and then was like, they're gonna make it an alert mission. Yep. They always make it an alert mission.
You just gotta wait.
So I'm gonna wait. Yep. And here we are. I've been looking for that alert. I've been watching for it for a while now.
I wonder if we'll have Revenant players. Be surrounded by Revenants.
I'm kind of suspecting it's going to be a lot of Nezha still, but I could be wrong.
You got another. You just got one, and a Mesa. Okay.
The scattered survivors of this infestation have
Nezha,
barricaded themselves in safe areas throughout this galleon. Escort the crew to the escape ship.
Oh, wouldn't you know it? It's going to be this, really?
Yep. So we're going to be here for a bit.
Too broken to join their Instead, they've banded together in search of a more
I'd rather pull my fingernails out with pliers. Defection.
Yeah, it just takes too long for what it is.
I've located the first group of survivors. Find them and escort them to the waiting transport.
I just keep telling myself it's worth it because you get a better helmet than the default helmet on Revenant. So,
well, I'll stay at A. So, if we all stay at each one, it'll maybe kill stuff faster.
I'll put a bubble up on A for you.
Yeah, I have my Zenistar so I can block off a point if I need to.
Where's the terminal?
That helps. Let us leave.
Activated the terminal. There's a frame powder fragment over here somewhere. For Ember. I didn't waypoint it because I didn't see it, but my Helio scanned it anyway.
Okay, I don't see it on the map.
I don't know how my Helio scanned it, but it did.
survivors are trying to get to the
All
transport.
right.
They aren't
One
gonna make
down,
it without
3 to
your
go.
help. A group of survivors has escaped.
Not even the Tenno will keep you safe.
Oh, rough. Oh, rough.
You're the worst of a bad batch. Inflicted with that mutation.
Oh, hey, I meant to ask you. Did you get the Prisma gremlins from Barrow?
Not yet. I gotta work on that tomorrow. I don't have enough.
Ducats.
Yeah. It's like 500. I mean, I'm gonna pick it up before Sunday. Because I really like the regular gremlin, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from everything I heard from MC and other people said that they're good. I mean, I like the regular gremlins. So.
Yeah, you do have what do you call it? Flight. I guess down flight you have to keep taking into account. But other than that, yeah, they work just fine.
Yeah, they're like the bow tours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never really had a problem with the regular gremlins, so.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. They're not bad. Well, I guess some people would.
I mean, you have 2 multi-shot mods, and you can have a fire rate mod to make it fire faster.
Right.
Okay, let's go.
Are they at A right now?
They're moving. They just left A.
Okay, I'm headed back. I was gonna say I'm headed back towards A now.
Yeah, I got my Zenistar right at the point, so they can't get to him.
Is your bubble still good on A?
Yep, I'm good. I'm holding A down, so.
Alright. You already have batteries on.
Yeah, I'm just collecting all that.
Good.
Yeah, I'm collecting all of them and putting them right by it whenever I need it.
So how did my...
Just reach the safety of our transport. Keep them
How
coming.
the heck did my Helio scan a frame fighter data?
More survivors. Keep them safe.
I don't even see one.
Yeah, that's weird.
Scanning for additional crew. Survivor evacuated.
Your betrayal breeds
God, there it is. God, my Helios was no joke scanning. Oh, wow. It was scan sniping. It's way over here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe they buff Helios so it actually scans now. At a higher radius. Yeah, because I don't know how it scanned over here. So.
I don't either.
That's a weird corner to hit.
It wasn't playing around though.
Let the survivors know
Lol,
you're
that's
ready to
funny.
keep
I got a
moving.
Nezha one.
Did you really?
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Alright, I'm going to be sending them from C here in a minute.
Okay. A is
They
pretty
gotta
much
get here.
covered, so.
I'm going to let them recoup some health here real quick first, and then I'm going to send them on their way. Alright, they're headed from C. They're headed your way. Alright.
That's a weird bug.
Everyone, we move now. Seek not everywhere.
Or the Tenno.
I'm gonna head to the... I don't know if these guys... Okay, they're coming through now.
Success. A group of crew members has reached the transport.
I'm glitched.
I will remember what you did here today, Tenno.
Locating more survivors.
Go with you.
A group of survivors has escaped.
Wow, that's a weird glitch.
What's that?
I can't use any of my weapons or abilities. I can't even pick up the containers now.
What happened?
I can't pick up anything. I can't pick up the power cells, or I can't switch weapons or fire weapons. Like all my abilities and stuff are locked out.
What were you doing when it happened?
I hit one of these charges with my Zenistar. Because the audio is still playing of the charger screaming. Like the audio for him, his little screeches, is coming out of my Zenistar right now.
That's pretty good.
Like if you want to go to my stream right quick, you can actually hear it on my stream.
That ought to be like cosmetic.
It's really weird. Like
that's a pink Neja. Wow. You used to see this Neja in Extraction, man. Wow. That's pink.
Yeah, so check my stream right quick while we wait for Extraction. You can hear it.
Let's see if my tablet will cooperate. Hope it's going to be POS. Have I ever told you how much I hate my tablet?
Yep.
Look more.
It's going to be POS. Did I ever put Twitch on my phone? I don't remember if I did or not.
Yeah, that's a weird bug.
We fought with honor.
Oh well, I guess we left now. I don't even know how that can be a thing. Like, but once again, it's a free to play game, so it's a free to play game. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
That was really weird. We got Trimberry essence as well, for some weird reason.
What's it going to take to build this red helmet?
Cryotic, oxium, tellurium, and orkin cells. I'm sure you got a gigaton of all that.
Alright, yeah. Sitting on over 100,000 oxium, 80 tellurium, 10,000 cryotic, 400 orkin cells. Yeah, let's build that. 20,000 credits. So, alright. I'm still at almost 24 mil, so I'm good there. 12 hours later, we'll have the new Revenant helmet. Thank goodness.
Stand by while I analyze the intelligence profiles of the Grenier. Error, not a number. Did the operator enjoy this witticism?
Let's see.
Gotta hate this verification. You know, you have to click on the pictures of corresponding things.
Yep. And it doesn't rush through what you clicked on. You gotta click on it again. Yeah.
Yes. I did complete it correctly. Oh, I hate you.
Yep. Yep.
Annoying.
Yep. Well, while you do that, I'll be right back.
Okay. Mountains or hills, really? Alright, I'm just gonna do this. Because this is being difficult. I'm just gonna open it up on a ps4. Because it'll automatically log in. How many ads are you gonna make? Actually, that burrito does look pretty doggone good. But I've always heard you don't get the burritos from Chipotle. I've always heard that. Don't know how accurate it is. That's loud. If I'm watching the stream, I think you're playing Roma or playing Rhino. Looks of it. This is watching video. Oh, that's past.
New alert marked on navigation. No.
Huh.
Alright, I'm back. What was that?
I see an October 3rd video. And your Spider-Man vid, but I don't. It's not showing me your stream.
Yeah, I'm streaming right now. But I'm streaming on YouTube though, so that's.
Oh, okay. That's probably why, because I'm on Twitch.
Yeah, that might. Yep, that might be it. Yeah, 7-9 on YouTube. SEVEN and the number 9.
SEZE.
SEVEN and the number 9. Yeah, it was one of those names a decade ago I thought would be simple for people to understand. But I come to find out it's not simple for other people to understand, so. So there's that. Yeah, so that gave me the realization that what's simple to us may not be simple to other people. But that was before I knew 7 of 9 was a thing. So that added to the confusion of with my name, so.
Yeah.
So you can send me another invite and I'll join. Because the sergeant's up again.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty simple forward. We just run to the sergeant and get out of there. Yeah, so I thought 7-9 would be easy because, you know, like it's the year I was born in, so that would make sense. But, like, I guess Jerry Ryan was more popular, so when people would see my name, they would think it's 7 of 9. I'm like, nope, just a year. Just the year I was born. Nothing more.
Pretty
nothing
straightforward.
Less. Yeah. Yeah. But I never watched Star Trek when Jerry Ryan was on, so I never knew the 7 of 9 character, so I didn't know the significance of it.
That was a good show.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have the context of the character. I just know, like, everybody knows 7 of 9. So.
But then again, I've always liked Star Trek as well. I mean, I wouldn't classify myself as a full-on Trekkie, but yeah, you know, I liked it. Now, I was really hoping that we'd get another new Star Trek movie, but from what I'm understanding, I guess all of the stars, the celebrities they had in the previous, I guess, all bailed out, from what I'm understanding. Which that's a shame.
It seemed like it was going good.
I thought so as well.
The VIP that we're hunting is here. Find them and take them out. You're on the sensors now. Been detected.
They're gonna keep coming.
There's her second.
Yep.
What are they up to?
So we're good on the sergeant.
Look at this. A dreamer sleeps stumbling onto my Kuva siphon. What an
Okay.
ugly child. Yeah. Huh.
They've brought in reinforcements. A Bursa.
Excuse me.
Your side.
Alright. Yeah, down on the right over here.
Going up the main steps.
What?
Hurry. Use your
Yeah, look, it went over your head.
Strike those Kuva.
Looks like we got a person down on the left.
Okay, I'll deal with it. Okay.
Where's the...
Your operator force. Target the other Kuva clouds.
Alright. There it is.
No. Protect the siphon.
Robots inbound.
Balls of festering flesh. You let them destroy my Kuva siphon.
Destroyed the Queen's Kuva siphon. We can't allow any of this to survive.
Oh.
Doors are locked. Time to break in.
Really?
Watch yourself. The alarms have attracted a Bursa. Override successful. Let's get going. Alarms successfully hacked. The returning to normal security levels.
That's the really weird thing about Bursas. I'm immune to all status effects, but blind. Like, I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, that's...
Because it actually doesn't hurt Nezha. It actually affects you, the player. Because it blinds your screen, but it doesn't actually affect Nezha itself. So it's like, why is that a status effect when Nezha's immune to status effects? All of them. It's a weird thing. Like, what is blind in this game? And that's why. It's a weird effect in this game. It's a very Metal Gear type of thing.
Assassination contract complete. Great work, Tenno.
Come on.
They won't be bothering us anymore.
Yeah, that's
Let's
more
get
like
out
it.
of
Almost 1,300. Cuba.
Yeah, I always need Kula because it takes me forever to re-roll something.
Yeah.
I'm up on 70 rolls for my lens. And I've only had my lens for about like 2 months now. I mean my Riven. So there's that.
Did you end up unveiling it, or did you have to buy it?
I bought it for 200.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So let me see how many rows I have on it. I think I have... It's probably my Arcoplasma I have about 70 on.
Yeah, that's easy to do. The Arcoplasma, roll.
So I have 14 on my lens ribbon. Cause I got that when Chroma came out a couple weeks ago. It's got 101 crit chance and 121 damage and 33.6 ammo max, whatever that means.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, lens has high crit chance anyway, so it's almost at 190 crit chance, so it should pretty much red crit or close to red crit. The problem I have is like, should I put Argon scope on there? Because it's kind of hard to get headshots with a lens.
Right. Argon scope's weird. I actually was hitting better on my Baza without Argon scope, so I don't know if it's a bug, but it was taking me with, we were talking about that the other day, what was it, a 12.5 crit multiplier? And it was taking me like 2-3 mags to drop a level 80 heavy gunner, and I'm like, what? That doesn't seem to make sense. With all the crit I have, crit chance, crit damage, that doesn't seem to really make a heck of a lot of sense. And so I pulled Argon scope, and it made a huge difference. It took me less shots to down that same level of a heavy gunner. So I don't know, maybe it's just a bug with the Baza that I was noticing.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you like the Zek T? Because I have a Riven. If you want it, you can have it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you can have this one. I mean, the Zek T's, I get it. I understand why it's, some people like it. I'm just not a fan of it in general. So, if you want it, you can have it.
It's like the spore thing I was using earlier for crowd control, where you just throw into an area and they walk into the pox, where they just walk into death, and they're like, "Oh, we're dying now because we just walked in a cloud of death." Silly me. Why did we do this? Reasons. Yeah. So it's like one of those things. I wouldn't use the Vakti anywhere else but like survival, because it fires way too slow, and you're like, I could just use like my Axtilettos and kill this thing.
Right.
So it's more of like an armor strip, like you trying to remove armor, or you just trying to proc grass on top of more gas.
Here, we'll jump to my dojo real quick here, and I'll just give this to you so you can.
Okay.
If you decide, because I haven't touched it, I haven't rolled it. or done anything to it. So if you end up with a little bit of Kuba left over after you roll the other stuff that you want, you give me a chance to. Let me know if it takes you with me or if I'm gonna have to invite you.
Are you there?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm flying there now.
Okay, I'm flying now. I was in my menu, so I didn't know if it like glitched and it was like, "Hey, you're in your menu, you can't leave." Like, wait, what? Yeah, all the ribbons I have, you probably don't even use those weapons, so.
Yeah, you can just throw a junk mod in. This is good for me, so I can clear up some space because I'm at 80 something ribbons at this point. So I need to reduce some that I have here. So let's see, Zach T. Yeah, this just has projectile flight speed, which not necessarily a bad thing, and then toxin and impact. So. Like I said, I haven't touched it, so if you decide to mess around with it later, you can.
Yeah, I liked it, yeah. I gotta just remember to get a pox ribbon, because I always seem to forget.
Yeah, I used to have one a while ago and ended up getting rid of it. I think it's Drifter. I think Drift really likes the Zach T as well. And it's like, I get it, I understand why you like it, I'm just, me personally, I'm just not a fan, you know? I'm just not a fan.
I mean, pox is good. It's just.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's just.
You sure you want to give that up? Because you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. That'll work. I'll take it. You never know. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a Xyloc ribbon. I'm not holding my breath though.
I mean, yeah, you might. I'm just not a fan of plains bounties.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm not either. Like, it seems like anymore, the only time I'm end up going to the
Okay, that was weird.
Other than what's up?
You were saying something, you just like skipped out. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh,
it broke up after you said planes.
I don't know. No, I just said that the only reason I go to the plains now is to unveil ribbons. It's about the only time.
Yeah, it makes sense because pretty much that's about the only thing you could do.
No, there's a bunch of them that have plains challenges, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Game looks cool, should I get?
To answer your question, Blade, it's a free-to-play game. You should try it out. It's free to play. I mean, there's nothing coming out of your wallet to try it, Blade. So just try it. It's a really good game. Yeah, but the only reason like I don't go to planes because I'm just like I don't care. Like after I did the bounties a couple times, I was just like, yeah, this is boring.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, well, the Zaws are the best melee weapons in the game, but I'm like, I don't care about melee weapons.
Right.
I have so many melee weapons with ribbons on them that I just don't use. Like I had a ribbon for my Galatine I don't use. I have melee ribbons for like the Legion I don't use.
Yeah, Legion's really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's just like, I just don't use like once I built.
Thanks, man. I'm also a small streamer, so good luck just looking for new games. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Blade. Yeah, but I was just like, I did the whole blood rush body count builds on all my weapons. I was like, okay, I got everything formatted right. So if there's a sortie where I need the blood rush body count stuff, I can do it. But I'm just like, I just don't sit there and melee stuff.
Yeah.
But I told Metis like I told.
No problem.
But I told you the same way. Like I'm a very simple person. Like I go to a shooter to shoot things. I don't go to like shooters to melee or fly arc wings or just shoot stuff. I'm the same way with Destiny. Like, as you heard me say, like, I just really didn't care about SRL. I was just like, are we gonna shoot things?
Right.
So, like, I appreciate the people who go melee only with, Wukong and go hard in the paint with Wukong, who swear by Wukong, but I'm like, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm not about to sit in no sortie with no melee weapon and try to get my combo meter up to 1,000 and try to break the game that way. I just like, can I just shoot that guy?
Well, that's a really good thing about Warframe also, is that play how you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you can go melee if you really want to, and you can go primary if you want to, or secondary. And I'm really actually excited about if they make the Arcwing weapons heavy, if they make that a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're going to balance it, because it seems to me that you have to make them more powerful than our primaries, secondaries, or melee, right? Because they're heavy, so that's kind of like the reason why you would use them.
Yeah.
So how do you?
What they said was they're going
to
take your primary and secondary slot.
Mm-hmm.
So that means it has to do enough damage
This is how angry
to justify that.
I may require maintenance after all.
Exactly.
But it also has to have enough ammo to justify that.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about some of the majority of the, well, actually all of the Arcwing weapons is that they recycle ammo. So like the flux rifle, for example, how you don't actually reload ammo.
Mm-hmm.
You just wait for it to go back up again. Reload, kind of reload on its own. So I don't think they'll change that. Maybe they will. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I just wonder. I'm like, how do you balance this for survival? It's like,
yeah, how do you prevent it from just decimating the map?
Like, will there be ribbons for Arcwing weapons?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't even consider that. That's a good question.
And like, how would you balance that? Because here's what we know. If we look back at history, if we just take a history lesson. Planes of Eidolons was released. It came with Zaws.
Mm-hmm.
Zaws got good. Zaws got ribbons.
Mm-hmm.
Every weapon that comes out gets a ribbon. Phantasma has a ribbon. So, like, when we can make these our primary weapons, will they get ribbons? It makes logical sense that they would get a ribbon. But, like, how do you balance that? What stats do you balance on that? Because it's taking up your primary and your secondary. So will they rework the way the ribbons work? Because they did say that they're looking at ribbons, so... So they has to, the question is, like, it has to be powerful enough for you as a person to justify not running with a secondary or primary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if this, I mean, they got to be powerful because they're heavies, but they can't be so OP that they just decimate level 150 enemies like, nothing, right?
Right.
I mean, they should be powerful. They should be powerful. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be powerful. I'm just saying that they can't be broken, right?
But then the other question is, will they have a movement penalty to it?
You would think that they would. It's a heavy weapon, so it should kind of, you would think.
But if there's a heavy penalty to it, then why would you use it?
Well, if you're already on like a slowish frame already, I mean, you don't want something like a dragon key movement, right? Like that is monotonous.
Right.
But a slight decrease to handling would just kind of make sense. I don't know if they'll go that far though. I'm not sure.
Because if they do that, then it's like, is it Warframe specific? Like, can Rhino carry it easily because he's Rhino, or would it be like a standard thing? Because like, if you're doing a survival and you have to get out of a spot, can you drop the heavy weapon?
Has begun. It will be marked on navigation.
Or are you just stuck with it on you, and you're just slowly carrying this thing around? Like, if you remember in Destiny, they had those flat cannons.
Mm-hmm.
And they were slow. You move so slow with them things. Because they were a heavy weapon. Because supposedly they're heavy than for you humans to be able to carry. So, but somehow you're magically carrying this thing. We're not going to get into the semantics of that, but there was a reason why it was so heavy. Because it's supposed to do a lot of damage. So how would they balance that?
Yeah, these are all good questions, and I don't know.
Because this game is way faster than Destiny, so like I can't imagine it be too heavy, because like you could never do a spy mission. You could never do anything but a survival mission, because you literally just be like Nyx with her 4 up, just walking so slow. You're like Terminator mode.
Well, hopefully it doesn't have that much of an impact on your movement, right? You would hope.
I hope, but I feel like that's how they're going to balance it. Like, because how else could you balance it? Because then you come to the question of like, okay, if they don't balance it that way, and it's a heavy weapon, which the connotation is it destroys stuff, then it becomes the best in slot thing. Whereas, why would I use anything else?
Right. It has to go. It has to. I mean, I think like defense missions, it would work. Survival, I think some survivals, I think it'd be okay. Like you said, you wouldn't want the movement speed, the penalty to be like massive. Like that would not be a good thing. But a slight handling negative, I think that just kind of makes sense.
Right. Because, yeah, I'm looking at it from like a power creep type of thing of, okay, we have primary weapons like the Tsar and the Lens that do an extreme amount of damage. And we have ribbons on it that can make them do even more extreme amounts of damage. So where do these weapons fit in? Because they can't be as powerful as Lens. They have to be way more powerful than the Lens. Because if they're not, why would I use it over the Lens?
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. It would have to, like, even the Tigris Prime, it would have to have more power than the Tigris Prime.
Right.
Because it's a heavy weapon.
Yeah.
On the plus side, if you're able to use an Arcwing weapon in a regular mission, this is a good thing for newer players that have Arcwing gear to level up, right? Because they can level them in regular missions without having to go Arcwing. This would also drive up the value of Arcwing mods, right? More rarefied mods, because people are now going to want those, as long as the Arcwing weapons are decent. And the Syndicate Arcwing weapon parts are going to go up in value because people are going to actually want that equipment. So those are all good things. Imperator Vandal sets will go up in value. All more ways to earn plat. So those are all good things.
Yeah, I'm just wondering like how it scale.
Yeah, as long as it's not a flash in the pan thing where it's like for 2 weeks people use them and then stop using them because of some issue.
And like the other question I have is like, will it be susceptible to damage gating? Because damage gating is in this game, but it's not as bad as in Destiny.
Now,
Like,
see, if there was a, let's say that there was, so you know the different movement speed difference between Destiny and Warframe. So what if your movement speed on your frame went from what it is currently down to Destiny level of movement speed?
That can't work.
You would know?
Okay, so let me give you an example. Imagine a sortie mission on Earth with the Terraframe. What's his name? Vahek Terraframe, which is arguably the worst boss in this game. Imagine carrying a heavy weapon on that mission and trying to get across the map with that heavy weapon. Like, I don't even see like how you could get to him within 5 minutes or within 10 minutes. Because the question is it going to be a deployable? Or is it going to be a weapon that you start from the mission and you have on you the whole time? Because if it's a weapon that you have on the whole time and you can't get rid of it, you're going to be, you probably can't parkour, and you probably can't move that fast. So like if you're moving a little bit faster than Nyx in her 4 with the augment, you can see how long it would take to get anywhere with that thing.
Right.
But the only counter to that would be is if you could switch to your operator. Because that's what people do with Nyx in their 4. If they need to go up platform, they just switch to their operator and boost up to the platform. So I don't know if that will work.
You would think that it would, just because the Arcwing weapon would be on a frame, not on your operator. So, you know, I guess you could go the deployable route, like if you throw out some kind of a beacon, right? And then you have a heavy Arcwing weapon for X amount of time.
Right. That would be the best option. Yeah, you don't get rid of your primary and secondary, but you have a timer for it. Because the other option is, excuse me, it becomes like a consumable. Whereas if it's not a consumable, it means you have to plan around it. You can't have both ways. Because I'm thinking like, if it's a primary weapon, i.e. you use it the whole time, it's gonna break this game. Like, it's borderline. It's gonna break the game. So let's think of that Vahek Terraframe vision, and think about using a heavy weapon like an Arcwing weapon with mag, which multiplies the damage that's in the bubble. Then imagine like mag getting buffed by Rhino and Mirage and Chroma before popping the bubble, and everybody shooting their Arcwing weapons into that bubble. That ball should be one-phased.
True.
So now imagine that for Eidolons as well.
Now, what if you use a Volt on the squad, right? With the Arcwing weapon.
And he's firing through his shield.
Well, yeah, there's that, but also you get your movement speed plus some with Volt, or I guess you could use Zephyr with her augment. It would do the same thing, but that would help speed you up and keep you mobile.
Yeah, it's just the question is, will they have planned for that? Like, I can see people one phase in the Eidolons when that comes out if they haven't planned it. Cause like if it's how I'm thinking, like okay, say it's like I'm thinking where you're super slow, it means that you can't get staggered.
True.
Because you're literally getting held placed by the heavy weapon. So literally you're tanking the radiation for the Eidolons, and you're standing behind Volt's shield and hitting him with a heavy machine gun or a grenade launcher or whatever those Archwing weapons different types are. You should be able to one phase a limb even with the worst squad mates for Eidolons. And my question is, has DE thought about that?
It's a balancing act for sure. I mean, it's going to take some serious juggling, and there's a lot of questions that hopefully, which let's be honest. If DE does decide to go through with this, it's not something I expect at any point in the near future. You know, it's going to be something that's we may possibly see next year, maybe. I mean, what's the alternative though? I mean, if DE really wanted to add heavy weapons to the game, they would have to add the heavy weapons. They would have to add mods. They would have to add a slot to your loadout. So if you really had to have a heavy weapon, I still kind of think this is the best way to go. But like you said, how are you going to implement it without it just being... Because it has to be powerful or else there's no reason to use it. Like you said, there's just,
Right.
Archwing or Tigris Prime. So, you know what I mean? Like it has to overshadow any of your other primaries or secondary weapons or else there's just no point to it.
Right.
So
and I'm thinking with the buffs too, like with Rhino's buff, with Harrow's buff, with Mirage's buff. Like, that's where we get into the power creep, where we're basically one-shotting the Eidolon lenses, excuse me. And I'm like, I don't know if DE has thought about the ramifications of Archwing weapons in daily missions.
Yeah, it's going to be a juggling act for sure. I mean, I don't know. There's, like you said, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked, but hopefully that's something that if they start testing it, those kind of questions will come up for them, so that they're going to say, okay, wait a minute. Who knows? They may not even let us... It may be a system where they don't allow you to even use Archwing weapons on the planes, so that removes the whole Eidolon situation, right? That just completely removes it.
Right. It's just weird that you could use your Archwing on Eidolon, but you can't use the weapon. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I've said that before. I've said
really
that before.
Weird.
I agree with that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like I'm on my Archwing weapon, but I'm using my primary. This is just weird.
I'm like, yeah, that's why for me, like, Archwing seems so disjointed. It's just like, I'm in the planes, but I'm shooting my Soma Prime. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, what? Okay, that's a thing, I guess. Yeah.
I've said the same doggone thing.
So that's why I'm like, man, like, if they bring this out like they're saying they're gonna do, I hope that they thought about that. And I hope they thought about the stats for these weapons, because like when they get a ribbons and they add ribbons to this thing, oh man, like it's gonna be breaking some stuff. So people already try to go with the crazy numbers too.
Yeah, that's true.
I can already see like plus 400 damage multi-shot, 100% status. Or when the Archwing weapons just two-shot and everything, you're just like, okay. Because here's the other question, like, if they have ribbons, which they probably will it go the other way as well? Meaning, will you put the ribbons on your Archwing weapons when you're in Archwing? Or will they remove it?
Well, that's the thing. They may not even add ribbons to Archwing because they haven't done it thus far, even with just the regular Archwing mode, right? So it may be a situation they don't even apply ribbons to Archwing weapons.
Yeah, it just seems weird to me. Like, I just feel like they're gonna add it because like our Sentinel has ribbons.
True.
Which is really weird if you think about it. Like, our little flying buddy over our shoulder has a chance to do more damage than beginner players coming into this game. No offense to anybody watching who's a beginner. But, like, you can get a ribbon on your carrier's weapon that can basically one-shot Star Chart enemies. But supposedly we can't get, like, if what you're saying is true, we can't get a ribbon for our heavy weapon, which is close to quote-unquote heavy. It takes up 2 slots. That would be really weird to me, like, if they would go that route. I don't know how they...
Yeah, you would think. But... I guess it would have to depend if it actually becomes popular. Like, if you look at the regular Arcwing mode now, it's not very popular, so I can understand why they didn't invest any more time into it as far as ribbons go. I guess if Arcwing weapons become popular as heavies, and a lot of people start using them, maybe it's something that they will consider.
I mean, it makes sense because it's hitting on that power creep level of like, hey, I'm doing my Rambo thing. I got this big giant gun on my arm. Because they've been talking about like weapons like that for years, at least as long as I've been following this game. Because I remember Magamu talking about like that sentient cannon thing. Remember that, where it was a weapon that took over your Warframe's arm, and it was sentient, and like it drew from your blood to fire and stuff. That was supposed to be a thing that I don't know what happened to it. Like, I guess it just fell into the ethers. So they've been looking at heavy weapons, but this is one of those half where they just gauging people's impressions and see if they're actually going to do it type of thing. Because that sentient hand cannon thing sounded cool too, but it's just like we never saw it again.
Yeah, and that suffered from the same questions that, Arcwing weapons would have, All right, Romo, I think I'm going to call it a night, get some sleep, so I can take care of some stuff in the morning.
Okay.
So you have a good night, and I will holler at
you later. Have a good one. And I guess I'll close out the stream. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your evening as well.